When people are thinking of Stanford students, they don't think of us.
In my family, I am the first one to attend college.
Growing up, it was a really big emphasis in my family for my 3 siblings and I to do as well as we could in school so that we could receive a better education and go beyond the working class employment that my parents have been doing their entire lives.
I think professors assume that because most Stanford students come from privilege, all Stanford students come from privilege.
Professors will often say things like, "You've probably already seen this in your AP Physics course," when some students' high schools don't have AP classes or physics.
The professor said it as a joke, but it's something that stuck with me about, like, what are our parents paying all this money for? And I was just like, parents? No, not me. Paying money? No, not me.
There was this talking assignment, basically speaking in class, and he called me out on the question, describe your bedroom back home in Spanish. And I was put on spot. I just had to take a moment because I just completely had to imagine this bedroom that I never had.
When it happens from someone who's teaching here, who's supposed to have a relationship with their students, it hurts because it plays into those fears that you have as a freshman of, will people notice me? Will my voice be heard?
I had a really, really hard time thinking of professors as people who were able or willing to spend time with me one-on-one. I was always very intimidated by adults with degrees, so I never really went to office hours or interacted with professors outside of class.
Fly students aren't always used to receiving support. Much of the work that we've accomplished, we've had to do all on our own, and so it can feel foreign or uncomfortable to reach out for help because it feels like we're not doing everything that we should be doing. It feels like a failure, and we want to do it on our own.
I think some of the concerns that I had when reaching out to professors or going to office hours was that I wouldn't be asking the right questions, or I wouldn't even know what questions were my questions, and I didn't think that professors would be able to guide me if I didn't understand enough to be guided.
I always have this dreadful period at the beginning of the quarter where I'm like, wow, how much are the textbooks gonna cost?
I work 20 hours a week usually, and that's on a good week.
I just don't remember a time where academics could be my priority.
My experience of sending money home when my mother was sick is not something that is unique to me.
A lot of students are trying to grapple with like how they can be supporting their families while trying to pursue an academic interest or develop like an academic like identity here at Stanford.
There's an attitude at Stanford from many people, including professors and staff and students, that you should do what you love and that it doesn't matter and that you should go out and try things. But I think it's very important to respect the decisions of Fly students who decide to study something that maybe they don't love because they know that it will bring them financial security.
There's this pervasive idea of individualism and pursuing what you're passionate about, but I think that can be very awkward for Fly students when you're used to doing what has to be done, not only for you, but for your family and for your community.
One of the things that I wish my professor had done when I reach out to help is to actually give me the help that I had asked for. What we need is guidance, and that guidance must be provided with tact and with kindness.
I wish instead of trying to relate to me in some way, I think just acknowledging that he didn't come from the background that I was coming from.
I wish she had just given me more of an opportunity to share and explain this overwhelming anxiety that I had in her class, and to be able to tell my story to her.
Some of the things that professors have done to make me feel like I really was a part of the community and I really belonged here at Stanford were by having interactive class discussions where they weren't the sole holders of knowledge.
And if you're teaching an intro course or you have a lot of freshmen in your class, it'd be really useful just taking a time when you're going over the syllabus to just talk about what are office hours, what is that supposed to look like?
And something that really helps is when like a professor or like a TA right off the bat acknowledges that coming to office hours might be intimidating, but that ultimately they're very open and accessible.
My favorite thing is when professors take care to make their materials accessible along financial lines, and sometimes that's a note in the syllabus that says all of these materials are on reserve at the library, or maybe they say, come talk to me if you have financial concerns.
If you as a professor experience a student who's submitting an assignment late, or maybe doesn't seem as present in class, just trying to also make space for the fact that they may be tired from working a long shift.
I think it starts with knowing that we're here.
People like me exist on this campus who had their first room when they came to campus.
Fly students are tenacious.
Very self-sufficient.
These students have these lived experiences.
A maturity and a responsibility that's pretty unique.
We're really equipped to solve difficult problems.
We're willing to put in the work.
Really able to bring resilience and determination.
We had to really seek out resources and opportunities in order to get us to a place where we could even attend a place like Stanford.
It's not I am poor, but I am poor and I am also this, and I am also this, and I'm also a successful student, and I'm also ambitious.
I don't want people to think that in order to be a good friend to someone who's first gen or low income, you have to have that identity.
They do not have to share my experience, but they should have an open mind, an open ear to listen to it.